Max Properties East in the Higdon Kennedy Myers Group. We're standing outside here of Stockyards Bank, getting ready to go in and talk to one of our go-to lenders, Steve Adams, with the bank, and talk to him about why it's important to get pre-approved and some of the important processes that we go through. So let's go talk to Steve. Okay, again, we're sitting here with Steve Adams, and Steve, if you would, take us through the process. You know, we've had this major economic downturn, and just tell me, where are we right now? Are the banks lending money? You know, and how important is it basically for a buyer to come in and start the process with you as opposed to wanting to run out and find, you know, the perfect home?
Well, one of the biggest misconceptions is that the banks really aren't willing to lend, and that couldn't be any further from the truth. We have experienced a lot of changes. There's been a lot of federal regulations that have been put into place, but simply, you know, it's really gotten back to just a more traditional way of lending. You know, the lenders are held accountable. There is, you know, everyone is crossing their T's and dotting their I's. The process is very similar to how it was before. We're very credit driven. You know, credit scores are very, very important. The banks are not taking the same risk that they did 3 or 4 years ago. The process is very, very similar to how it was before a lot of the, you know, the niche products started the downfall, and, you know, a lot of the foreclosures and things like that. It's really imperative before someone actually goes out and starts looking at properties to go through the pre-approval process, to come in, to have credit looked at, you know, to have their income documented, to make sure that they have positioned themselves accordingly and that they truly can, you know, find that house of their dreams and move forward. It's a very stress-free process as long as you do what your lender tells you to do.
Okay, those are all really good points. So let's say I'm a buyer and I'm just starting the process, you know, straight out. What items, what documentation should I bring to you? Do you normally go to the buyer? Is it better for them to come in physically to this address? And just, you know, initially, how do we start that process?
Well, I think it's easier certainly for the buyers to come into the office where I have access to my computer. I like to pull credit if the buyers are ready to proceed at that level. And normally what we do is we'll just take a brief application. It's very informal. We'll just talk about, you know, some of their goals and what they expect during the home buying process. You know, and as we go through that, I'll pull credit, I'll look at paycheck stubs and bank statements. Kind of a list that I'm going to need would go as follows. 2 years of W-2s and federal tax returns. I'm going to need 30 days of pay stubs for any and all people that are actually going to be on the loan. So if you're paid every week, I'll need the last 4 that covers a 30-day period. Or if you're paid bi-weekly, I'm going to need the last 2. And then I'm going to need all of your current bank statements, all pages to any and all assets account, even your 401k or any brokerage statements or things like that. That helps. Sometimes if you have additional assets that are set aside, it's a compensating factor. That's going to get the ball rolling. It never fails that during the process, once things start going, then I'm going to need some additional items, and that's where that line of communication between the real estate agent, the lender, and the consumer, it's very imperative that there's that line of communication going on during the pre-approval process so we don't have any surprises.
So there you have it. I want to thank Steve for meeting us here at the bank, giving us those great ideas. Steve, if somebody wants to contact you, where should they reach you?
The best way to reach me is on my direct office line at 625-1042.
And you can always find us at wemovelouisville.com. We'll be checking back with you time and time again just regarding Louisville real estates and everything and anything regarding mortgages here all over Louisville. So talk to you soon.